Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, and production of Edgewise.Media, episode 390. I'm Sanjay Park, and this week, Adam is not here. He's out and about, doing a walkabout, I guess. And instead, we've got our good friend Joe Casabona joining me. Howdy, Joe.
Hey, Sanjay, good to be back. I like to say they're out on assignment when a co-host is not.
Out on assignment.
Cool.
He's in the field. He'll be reporting in later on. It makes us feel like we've actually got a real news show or something like that. But listen, we have got a ton of articles this time, and actually some Instagram videos too that you should absolutely watch. So let's get to it. First up, we're going to talk about crazy robot cars and whatnot. So first up, Tesla robotaxi hits a parked car in first recorded accident. Who did not see this coming? Basically everybody saw this coming.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently it didn't really do a lot of damage. It was just a little bit. It was on the tire or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like the Tesla cars, like his all in about like just computer vision only and not using LiDAR or anything else like that is just going to make these kinds of things happen more. I mean, what do you think, Joe? You don't drive a Tesla by any chance, do you?
No.
Okay, neither do I.
I wanted it for a little bit, and now I'm glad I didn't get one.
Ditto. Very much ditto.
I mean, like, I think in general, more sensors, the ability to detect more stuff is better. Like, I have long advocated for self-driving cars, like autonomous cars, because people are dumb and distractible, and the right hardware, like the right computer system, it should be less dumb and less distractible. And like, if you can get LiDAR or something else besides like this one technology, maybe some fail safes and stuff, that's just gonna, I think, make it better in a sense, right? Like make it like more fail safe.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of computers and technology is to be better than people, right?
Right.
Like we don't have the computer in the back end use an abacus to do the math for us. Like that's not a thing, right?
Yeah,
like,
hold on, let me count this. Yeah.
Maybe someone has built a computer that uses an abacus on the back end, but that's not a thing. So I don't understand why you would not use the best available tech. Now, that said, this next article is not really an article, and it's an Instagram post that I saw that I think refutes what you just said. So I don't know if you watched this, but it was Malcolm Gladwell talking about autonomous vehicles. Did you watch this little bit?
I did not. This is an unnecessary detail. I don't really social media much anymore, so I do have it up in my browser, but I haven't seen it.
So I got to say, I watched it in the browser too. I stumbled upon it, but so here's what he says. So Malcolm Gladwell, everybody knows him. He's the tipping point guy and all those kinds of things. Great books, great thinker. And he says he thinks that autonomous vehicles will never work in urban areas. And the reason is because they are too careful. Kids don't play in the streets in New York City because they know if they do that, they are going to die. But because drivers are not going to see them and they're going to hit them. But if all the vehicles are autonomous vehicles, they will see them and they will stop and they will patiently wait. He says even for hours, waiting for them to be done with their game before going through. And so because of that, pedestrians are then no longer going to care about vehicles. And they'll just cross whenever, knowing that the vehicles are going to stop. And so the cities will become gridlocked. And to prove that point, there's two more Instagram videos that I found. And I just totally happened to be scrolling through and stumbled upon these. So these are both in Atlanta. One is a Waymo on Krog Street Tunnel. So if you're in Atlanta, you know where that is. And the other is on Spring Street. The first one in Krog Street Tunnel, you can only get one car at a time through that tunnel. The Waymo decided to stop functioning at the top end of that, and everybody's jammed up behind that. The other one, for some reason, the Waymo decided it was done in the middle of an intersection, a busy intersection, by the way, and it's just sitting there with its hazard lights on, and everybody's having to drive around it. This is what I have said before on this podcast, where I think autonomous vehicles, and I didn't say it as brilliantly and with the foresight that Malcolm Gladwell has, but I think they're actually going to cause gridlock in cities because they're doing dumb things like this.
Yeah, this is like the opposite of like probably like 10 years ago now. I read that like Sweden was getting rid of like certain traffic signs or traffic signals and reducing sidewalks because it made people be safer because of the risk of like hitting a pedestrian was greater, right? And I've read since that like some of those stories were apocryphal, but like getting rid of some of the signs were not. Anyway,
right.
This is like a 10-year memory now, but this is like the opposite of that. And it's almost like either everything, like the vision is like what you see in iRobot, right? Which is probably not a great thing to cite when we're talking about autonomous things, but it's like all of the cars are driving and there's a neural network where they're all talking to each other. And then like maybe in the future, these cars can also talk to the traffic signals. And so like they can like zip through intersections at 100 miles per hour because they know like people aren't walking and everything's talking to each other and can react appropriately. But like right now it's like, who gets a ticket if a humanless vehicle blocks the box, right? Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who gets that ticket. And I think this, like autonomous vehicles then like in this theory of Malcolm Gladwell work if they're all say flying cars, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's no kids until everybody has jetpacks. And then in case then it all gets messed up again, right? Because then you have people jetpacking and not caring where the cars are because they'll just avoid them or something. Yeah. So,
oh man, then the FAA will really have its hands full then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Next story, you want to read this one? I don't know if you watched this video.
Yeah, I mean, I did. It was Star Wars, so of course I did. I love Star Wars. Yeah, so fan film, AI generated. I saw that and I'm like, all of it, and then I watched it and I was like, yes, all of it. So yeah, this guy generated basically a Star Wars fan film called The Ghost's Apprentice. It's 11 minutes long.
It's not good though.
It's not good. No, it ends with a PS. Disney, can you please not take this down? I'm like, oh, that's not really how IP works, but whatever. So like, I will say, no, I mean, it's definitely not good. It starts off kind of good, and I'm like, oh,
right,
this is like not, and then it immediately turns to like AI slop.
Right, yeah, like the dialogue is so halting and just like non-natural, right. And
there's like one part where maybe I'll get off this planet and see my mom. I'm like, okay, I wonder what that inspiration's from. And then like the Jedi Ghost is just like there, and he's like, you'll get off this planet, and he's like, we'll see. I'm like, we'll see. Was a kid and dad arguing like in a. So
I mean, that said, like, you know, think about this, like even 5 years ago, trying to make that 5 years ago would have been really, really difficult, if not near impossible for anybody just randomly wanting to do it. So it's impressive in that respect. It'll get better, I imagine, over time. But yeah, it's definitely not there. We're not going to see one of these at the Academy Awards this year getting some kind of nomination or award because no.
Yeah, the Lady Jedi looks like kind of an older version of Olivia. She played 13 on House. Oh my gosh, Olivia.
No idea who that
not
is.
Munn, the other Olivia. It'll come to me. But yeah, I think that the important thing to remember here is like you can generate all the content you want, but like it still needs to be like good writing.
Yeah,
and you still need to feel connected to it. And that's like something that I'm not convinced AI will, I can't say we'll never be able to do, but I have a hard time seeing that AI like replacing the human element.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Next story, speaking about you never know, Joe Rogan's latest episode will make you question everything about AI. Now, I'm going to preface this. I'm not a huge Joe Rogan fan. Actually, the only time I was a fan of Joe Rogan was when he was on News Radio. I think he was a good actor on that show, and I love that show. After then, it's been a little bit downhill. So basically, these folks are saying that like they think there's a 20 to 30% chance that AI will wipe out humanity. Yeah, it's like I don't know why they feel this is new. We've been talking about this for a long time, and then also like Terminator. Like, have you not watched the movie? Like, people have been thinking about this for a long, long time. Maybe it's the fact that it's getting real.
Right. I think like, first of all, I just want to go on the record as saying like I'm old school disliking Joe Rogan. Like I didn't like him when he went on his little like comedian steal jokes tour. Like, all right, dude, like you were like a middling stand-up comedian and now you have to like shit post like talk smack on everybody else. So like whatever. I did try watching a few of his episodes recently and I just like I can't. Like I can't.
I've never watched an episode of that show because just no.
Yeah, it's
just
like
no.
You know, I'm like maybe I'm wrong. I'll have that thought every few years. So
and then you try it and then the gross taste is in your mouth and you're like, no, I was right.
Oh, it turns out I wasn't wrong. My original point here is human beings have always kind of been obsessed with our destruction. Like, you know, when we dropped the first bomb, it was like all of a sudden now it's like mutually assured destruction and Terminator and Planet of the Apes to some extent and like Revelations. Like all of these things talk about like just mass extinction of human beings. And it's probably like a deep-seated evolutionary survival thing. But like, yeah, I mean, we're like moments away from getting wiped off the planet all the time. AI is just the newest threat.
Well, let's talk about some good AI stories. Next up, how the owner of Hidden Valley Ranch learned to love AI. So they're leveraging AI to create marketing campaigns. They were like, well, a lot of this stuff is not the best, which I think we all kind of understand with AI. Apparently the AI was trying to get them to sell Clorox as the unbleached bleach, which they were like, yeah, that's not a thing. And that's not something that we're going to want to sell.
No.
But it actually came up with some ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it came up with some ideas and product ideas that were actually worth pursuing for them as well. So this is kind of neat. Do you use any kind of AI for like marketing stuff, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, like marketing is not my strongest suit. And so this is like a classic. I'm either gonna like I can't hire somebody right now, and so like I'm gonna do it poorly myself, or like get some help and do it marginally better. But like this is the thing I've been saying is great about AI for a while. Like the ideation part, like the getting out of your. I think I said this last time I was on. Maybe I said to Adam. Rubber ducking is like my favorite thing to do with AI, and like you were in the development field, so I think you maybe know this term. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So everybody else I've said is like, what is that? I'm like, does it have to do with Jeeps? And I'm like, no, it's whatever.
You might want to explain it for our listeners that don't know what that is.
So for our listeners, this came, I think it was in the Pragmatic Programmer, but it's basically like a programmer to get out of their own head will talk to a rubber duck and talk through a problem. And that's really the idea, right? You're stuck on a problem. You say it out loud and you kind of talk through it out loud and it helps you solve the problem. So I've been using AI for that. And it's like, I'm thinking about this. What am I missing? Like be critical, right? You got to tell AI to be critical. Otherwise it's like, great idea. I never thought of that. Oh, you're the smartest. It's like having a sycophant in your pocket.
Yeah.
And I think that's been really good because it has it's given me things to then run with, right? It's never given me like the fully baked thing, but I'm like, oh, this is an angle I wouldn't have thought of. Or like, this is something that I think I wouldn't have considered.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, talk about something that some folks have considered. You want to do the next article there?
Rocket science, right, from Futurism, right? We have the same list in front of us. Rocket scientists hooked up a chat GPT to the controls of a spaceship, and the results were not what you might expect. So I'll be honest, I didn't get through the entire article here. I like saw the clickbait, and I'm like, I don't know. But they published a paper kind of detailing, gosh. I can't. You should talk about this because I can't even find the whole. Like I can't even find the
It's
main thing.
it was it's kind of a weird story. I don't really understand what the point is, but basically they had ChatGPT. It wasn't spaceships. Like the picture that they have up on top is like, that's totally unrelated to this.
Right.
But it was basically satellites and managing satellites.
I saw that and I was like, did I read this wrong?
I don't really, like, you're right. Clickbaity kind of picture and article, but it was able to get second place in this competition. I think it's interesting in that, some of these things are very complex and it's hard to sometimes figure out the algorithms behind them. And so given a large enough data set and a complex system like this, having AI just kind of iterate and kind of figure it out by trial and error, it's very similar to what AI has always been thought of in terms of like learning systems and what you build in like a programming language like Lisp that would just reinforce kind of what is considered like neurons to figure out what the best solution is for something like this. But obviously with the tech that we have now, it's able to do just much larger scale of things than we've ever had before. So it's interesting. I think it kind of foreshadows the opportunity to solve bigger problems, by just regular people. I don't know that you need to be a rocket scientist to do this, but maybe only rocket scientists are going to think about this application and be like, we've got this problem. And maybe that's what it is. Cause I don't think I would have thought like, let me, get AI to kind of guide my satellites because I have 0 satellites. So that's probably the other problem.
Yeah. And that's like really the really important thing about domain knowledge, right? Because I've been like thinking about vibe coding a lot, and it's like vibe coding only really works if you already know how to code. Unlike a larger, like more than single little utility thing. And so like that is a really interesting part of this story. I would say like shame on futurism for making it such a crappy headline and then equally crappy story.
But another space story that is kind of interesting and good, Netflix and SpaceX show how streaming space tourism is new reality TV. It's actually not SpaceX that's involved with Netflix. It's NASA. So NASA has actually done a deal with Netflix to stream live rocket launches right there on the platform. It's not an exclusive. You'll still be able to get it on NASA TV. But I think it's interesting. And I think the thing that, for me at least, is interesting is Netflix has been going more and more all in on these live events, right? Mm-hmm. Like they had that, what was it, that MMA fight thing that was kind of a disaster.
Yeah. Who was that?
I don't even remember.
Mike Tyson and Logan
Mike Tyson
Paul?
And somebody else.
And somebody,
Jake Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
It should have been Logan Paul.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, that was a little bit of a disaster. They've been doing NFL football, I think, for a while as well, haven't they? I feel like that's been on there.
Yeah, I
before.
think they've done some NFL football. And it makes, first of all, this is really cool, right? I think they've probably seen the popularity of the SpaceX streams, like which are like events now for people.
Yeah,
but Netflix has had this problem of like people, signing up for a month, binging the thing they wanted to watch and then churning out, right? And when you have live events, sports, other things like this, it makes your platform stickier, right? Like the only reason I continue to pay for Peacock is because they do those Sunday morning like brunch baseball games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like I love baseball before noon. Like it's the only reason I'd ever live on the West Coast. And so like it work for the right audience. It totally works.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Maybe I'm an aberration then on Netflix customers because I think we've been customers for probably close to 20 years, like uninterrupted, at this point. Like, I mean, we've gone up and down in levels over the years, but I don't think there's been a time where we haven't been a customer at this point.
I want to say that's true for me as well. I've like cheated a little bit because T-Mobile pays for most of my Netflix account.
But still
pays
right? For it, but you're really kind of paying for it. So
you're right. And like, I think that I've had to contribute like some amount to get the family plan or the
Yeah.
ad-free plan now or whatever. So like I still do choose to pay. My wife loves Bridgerton and my kids love this new show on it called Unicorn Academy. So like I'm stuck a little bit with
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we
Netflix.
were from back in the DVD days. Like I remember I've mailed and received so many of those red envelopes, over the decade or whatever, 5, 7, 10 years that they did that. So anyways,
Yeah.
you want to do the next story?
Yeah. So this is Tesla CEO Elon Musk confirms wild rumors as $37 trillion emergency predicted to blow up Bitcoin price. I think this article does just a lovely job of summarizing the ridiculous drama that our political parties and financial institutions are steeped in. Like he taught, he launched the America Party, uh, fiscal emergency from the big beautiful bill, um, and then signaling to kind of support Bitcoin and throwing his
Yeah.
weight around there.
So
right?
I think that's the big interesting story here is Bitcoin. There was another article too, and I did not tag it, but apparently $8 billion worth of Bitcoin moved recently from wallets that were of the considered Satoshi era. So like the very beginning of Bitcoin, they have been dormant for 14 years and all of a sudden they have moved around. So somebody still has access to them. Somebody still knows the keys and all that stuff. So, I don't, what do you think? Do you hold any Bitcoin? Do you accumulate Bitcoin? What's your story there?
No, I have zero crypto. I'm very much of the mind that like if a bunch of people overhype something, it's overhyped. And so in like 2011, my friend was like, "Yo, we should buy Bitcoin," and I'm like, "That sounds dumb." And like I regretted it for like a hot second by like 2018, and then I just didn't anymore.
Yeah.
And then like same thing with like NFTs or whatever.
That was a good one to dodge.
That was a really good one to dodge. I think like crypto, I'll probably not be able to avoid forever.
Yeah.
But
if you'd bought in 2011, you would have been solid and sitting pretty at this point. But
I know I would have. But here's the thing though, because I view it as a gamble still, I would have sold way before like 20, whenever it, right? Like when I go to a black,
doubled my money, I'm out.
Right. When I go to
missed
a blackjack
out on that
table,
80x.
Yeah. I'm like, if I win $400, I'm out. Like, that's it. Like, cause if I keep going and try to win $800, I'm going to lose it all. Yeah. So like, that's my approach. And casinos hate me cause I usually, like lifetime I'm up. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
And somebody else who's not up, still on the Elon Musk stories, Colombia, the country, seizes the first unmanned narco submarine with a Starlink antenna. So completely unmanned, and they're basically, there were no drugs on this. It's believed that it was probably a test run, and it seems like they were trying to control it remotely using this internet access through Starlink. So good job, Elon Musk, helping out the drug runners there.
Great job. We live these last few stories are just highlighting that we live in just like a ridiculous time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure when like the washing machine came out, people were like, not drying your clothes on a clothesline. What? But like, this is like almost intelligent machines that are unmanned, that are always connected to the internet, that are getting intercepted by like hostile nations or whatever, right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's weird to me.
Yeah, it's it is crazy. You got to wonder what like archaeologists are going to say about our society some point in the future, and be like, look at these dum-dums, and all the dumb things that they were doing back then. But
good thing
speaking about dum-dums,
the robots, yes.
Speaking about dum-dums, next article.
Yeah, dum-dums and hostile, right? Court nullifies click to cancel rule that required easy methods of cancellation because the FTC did it wrong. So like, on the one hand, like the court nullifying this is dumb because it's a good, helpful law. But on the other hand, when you fill the government with incompetence, things are going to be done incompetently, right? And so, like,
and to be clear, this was the FTC. It was under the Biden administration, so a couple of years ago.
Oh, dang. Yeah. I didn't see. This is when I read the LinkedIn summary of this yesterday, I just kind of assumed it was this FTC.
No. This FTC would never do that because,
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, this was a really consumer friendly thing for the 2025 FTC to do.
That should have been your tip off right there.
That should have been my tip off. Yeah. What?
Is this article real? It is real. It was the previous FTC, but still, I think your comment still lines up because look, you know the rules. You should follow the rules and do it the right way so that this kind of thing doesn't happen. Right. And we have talked about this. We actually celebrated this law, this ruling a while ago when it kind of came to pass. This is awful, quite honestly, because I think the current FTC is probably not going to try to do this again.
Yeah,
and what I think this might do is embolden companies to make it even harder now to cancel your things. So this reminds me of the Friends episode when Ross and Chandler are trying to quit the gym and then they're trying to quit the bank because then they can't quit the bank after that. So that's all of us are going to be Ross and Chandler.
Yes. I'll just say this, like, this is really why Congress needs to do its job. I know that's like a pipe dream too, but like, if there was like a federal law or like more state-based laws, like California has a law like this, I think. Sometimes I'll log into my VPN and see if I can easily cancel because I'm coming from California. But like, this is why we shouldn't rely on the executive side of things to do this stuff. We should really, Congress needs to act.
Yeah.
Sadly.
But sometimes you don't need Congress to act because you got great private companies doing that for you. Cloudflare, we will get Google to provide a way to block AI overviews. So here's the problem. You block Google's Googlebot. Now you're no longer in searches, so you're not getting the traffic, even though your goal was to not be in the AI responses. And so what Cloudflare, we talked about this, I think last week, has rolled out a new thing to block AI bots, but they're having a challenge with Google because of kind of the blending between the Gemini bot and then the search Google bot. But Cloudflare said, like, look, we're having conversations with them, but if they don't, we have legislators lined up across the country ready to introduce laws that would prevent this kind of behavior. And I got to tell you, I love it. I love that they're bringing in the hammer and being like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to agree with us. You don't have to negotiate with us. We'll just talk to our people that we have on our side and we'll just throw the hammer down like that.
This is a really good point. Maybe we can expect an easy click to cancel law because if there's something that Congress is united in hating, it's technology companies. And like, so I love this. We're like dancing around politics. I'm very much like, I don't want to say libertarian because that's like a bad word, but like, I'm mostly for like, let private companies do mostly what they need to do. That's been a proven method, but like, sometimes it's not good for people and the government's job is to protect people. And if I want to cancel my Urban Air subscription that my kids don't use online, I'm back to this already. But
you shouldn't have to be on hold for 30 minutes trying to cancel
have to fill out a form.
Yeah, it should be as easy. And that's what the original law was. It should be as easy to cancel as it is to sign up.
Yes.
How does this not make sense, right?
Right.
I mean, and honestly, we've done that in some of the tools that we've launched, like Together Letters. It is just as easy to cancel as it is to sign up. Simple.
Yeah.
We even actually go one step further with Together Letters. with most services that you pay, like we've now gotten rid of the annual subscription thing because I don't want to lock people in for a year. That is not a great, kind of relationship between a vendor and a customer. So we've gone month to month. And then on top of that, if you cancel part of the way through a month, we actually refund you the prorated amount. Most services won't do that. It'll cancel at the next thing.
Right.
There's an easy way to do this on Stripe. And I was like, well, I'm just going to do it that way. Because that's much more user friendly. So if you sign up on one day and then cancel that same day, you don't even have to talk to me to get your refund for the month. It just happens. The whole thing happens.
That's really nice. The last service I canceled, I had to like threaten with a chargeback. Like, why should I have to do that?
And chargebacks are expensive, by the way. So that is actually a pretty big threat. They cost them $15 or more on the chargeback on top of whatever they've charged you.
Right.
So
yeah. Like that's it's dumb that I had to do that.
Yeah. So talking about, I'm a big pro privacy person. I assume you are too, given that libertarian bent.
Yes.
This one was pretty interesting to me. Jack Dorsey announces BitChat messaging app. Now here's the downside of this thing. It's only on iOS. So I haven't gotten to try it out. Have you, Joe, tried it out?
I have not tried it out yet. But I think I will. I kind of hate WhatsApp. So
really?
This sounds like, I don't know why. I think I just hate giving people, like, I need to use my phone number. And I don't like giving people my phone number.
Yeah.
Especially because I've had mine for almost 26 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to change it.
Right. Yeah. I feel that's why I like where Signal introduced the whole thing that you could have usernames. I think that's a smart thing. But so BitChat, a little bit of background for our listeners. If you haven't heard about what this is, Jack Dorsey, one of the co-founders of Twitter, has launched this new thing, BitChat. It uses Bluetooth mesh, messaging. So there is no central server. Things are encrypted, and then relayed off to whatever machine the message is destined for. This is, I think, really interesting. I think there's use cases. There's other apps like this, and I've actually looked at some of those apps to actually use them within the family, but nothing has been really great in terms of user experience. But if you think about like when national emergencies happen or, things like that, or weather events and infrastructure goes down, things like this would help you stay in contact and communicate with people, which I think is super, super interesting.
Yeah. So the beta is full. I just tried getting on it.
I think that happened instantly. It was 10,000 users. And when Jack Dorsey is going to announce something, everybody's going to jump on it because of who he is.
Right.
So he announced this on Twitter.
Yes.
Other people call it X, but I call it Twitter.
I know.
And
X is
almost within,
like that's,
I know, right? Exactly. Within hours, I think they hit the 10,000 test flight, kind of maximum.
That also makes sense why I haven't seen it. I'm barely on any social media at this point. What I'm most looking forward to with BitChat is, reading our next military action through this brand new app, right?
I'm sure it'll be shared around. Like, it'll be just a message that just gets sent out and CCs everybody. So
yeah, exactly.
Last article. I know you're a big fan of this one, so I'm going to let you. Oh, well, actually 2 articles, but they tie together.
Yes. So Sanjay and I are both smart home guys. I have some Wemo, WEMO, not to be confused with our earlier stories.
About Waymo.
Yes, Wemo, not Waymo. Belkin, who makes the Wemo products, announced that they are ending technical support for older Wemo products, which means that the app will the things that you had to do through the app won't work. Remote features won't work. Anything that they said the decision does not affect their threads or thread-based products. So anything that you can do through HomeKit, it sounds like they just don't want to maintain their app anymore. Which was really shocking news to me because as a user of the app, I didn't think they've maintained it for a while.
You're like, how is this different?
Right. Yeah. This barely works. So I don't know if this is just like Belkin making a decision. They make really like they're sold in the Apple store, and you have to have like a certain kind of quality and hubris to get your products into that store. So I don't know if they've just decided that like these older products aren't worth supporting, or if this
Yeah.
is like a portent for other non-threads hardware that requires a hub, because that's the other thing. Like, Wemo required a hub. And
Yeah.
so I think it's just an interesting development in the smart home space as we move closer to like what the Jetsons promised.
Yeah, I've got a couple of old Wemo switches, but I got to be honest, I don't even know where they are. I don't think I don't use them anymore. I've mostly moved over to the Eve switches when I need switches like that, and a lot of my like you, I'm a big home automation person. A lot of my outlets are actually smart, just built into the outlet. So they're controllable through the home automation stuff. But last article we'll hit up before Weird and Wacky that then relates to this. IKEA bets big on the Matter smart home. So they have announced more than 20 new Matter over Thread devices. If you don't know Matter and you don't know Thread, I don't know why you haven't listened to all the episodes of Tech Talk Y'all, because we've talked about this before. But basically, Matter is a new protocol. Thread is a new connection protocol that works. So Matter comes over Thread. Matter can also run over Wi-Fi and other things. But basically, Thread allows you to build an ad hoc network in your house that then isn't reliant on your Wi-Fi or anything else like that. And you can just add devices, and it's a mesh network as well. And so I've got a bunch of Thread devices and Matter devices that all mostly work. Some manufacturers' implementations of Matter over Thread, or even just Thread, are not as resilient as some others. So, the big recommendation I would make is be careful. Don't buy too much of one manufacturer all in one go. Just start slow and make sure you get comfortable with it. But I think this is a interesting thing. IKEA being who they are, I don't know. I feel like this is going to drive larger adoption of this kind of smart home stuff. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be easy, right? Like,
yeah,
I have these little Lutron buttons that you just put over a light switch, because if I just had like fully smart light bulbs without the switches, my in-laws, friends who come over would turn off the switches, and then like the smart bulbs wouldn't work at all, right? So like you need to cater to not just the early adopters, you need to cater to the Luddites. And I think like IKEA's foray into this will probably do a lot to like ease the pain of the smart home stuff, because you and I know that like, gosh, when a smart home device doesn't work, I want to die a little bit inside. Right. I'm just like, this was supposed to be easier. And so like, I'm hoping that making this more mainstream and forcing it to be easier because it's in the mainstream will ultimately be a great thing. And the last thing I'll say here is like with Matter and Threads, the fact that like Google and Apple and all of these other companies are actually working together on a standard tells me that like the technology is important.
Weird and Wacky segment.
Yeah.
Abominable Snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
Okay, it is Weird and Wacky time. First up, Army tests robotic coyotes to defend fighter jets. These are words that I never thought I would say together.
I was looking for the clickbait in that headline, and I'm like, nope, this is a fully accurate headline.
This is real. They basically mounted coyotes on top of like little robot, like a remote controlled robot-y thing, and they just run them around to keep the seagulls and the whatever's away.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best solution. Like the simple things work, I suppose.
Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution is often the best solution.
Well, what was funny is they said, they had like one of those moving robots, the 4-legged things, but they said that it didn't move fast enough to scare off the birds. So
Mhm.
you need something that, it's got some zip to it, some zing.
Right. Yeah. Right. And looks like a predator, moves like a predator. Right. I mean, like those robot dog things are cool, but like
They
they're
just
not.
scare us,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, and it's really they scare our imagination.
Right.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Okay. Next up.
Okay. Edible micro lasers. Could revolutionize food tracking and safety. These are more, this is why this is all weird and wacky. These are more words that I never thought I would
Say
say
together.
all together. So like
Yeah.
tiny lasers constructed entirely from food safe materials.
Yeah. So they're using this to track olive oil.
Right.
They're doing it in olive oil and I guess make sure that it's good and safe over time. It's not deteriorating or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like on my bingo card, I was not like, how many micro lasers have you eaten today?
Right.
That was not a thing I was going to think about.
This is also like the opposite of Occam's razor, right? Like, you know that curve where it's like the dummy on one end of the curve and then like the really aggro dude at the top and then like the Jedi like guy at the end. And it's like, eat healthy organic food, micro lasers, eat healthy organic food. Like, we don't need to worry about what we're ingesting if we like eat healthy food. I think.
Yeah,
really
but apparently you're going to just get micro lasers now too with it. How
really
big
excited.
can you what I want to know is that I don't think they mentioned it. Can you taste the micro lasers?
I
Do
don't
they
know.
change
Some
the taste
people will surely say they do, right? Just like the people who say that they can tell the difference between like 12-bit and 16-bit music. Those people are liars. If you go up to like 24, I think I can tell, but I'm probably also lying. And there are people who would be like, no, the micro lasers really alter the taste of this olive oil.
It's grainy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's a little light.
Creates a little bit of it's got a lightness to it. Get it?
Yes.
Lightness, micro lasers, lightness.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. I'm sorry. I opened the next story and my brain just shut down for a minute.
Okay, last story in Weird and Wacky. Community confused by quote unquote Rizbot walking around with cowboy hat and chain, complimenting their outfits in Gen Alpha slang. So, of course, from the article title, you know this is in Austin, of course,
yeah,
of
obviously.
all places. I mean,
Yeah,
clearly, that's
keep
got to be
it weird,
Austin,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a robot walking around, talking to people and complimenting them. I don't understand why.
In inscrutable language, though, because it's Gen Alpha slang. Is Bet Gen Alpha? I think somebody told me.
Bet? Is Bet?
Yeah, like you say something, and then I would reply affirmatively by saying bet.
Bet. Yeah. It's a good bet.
Yeah, right. Yo, G, that sleeveless plaid shirt is straight banging. Is that's not Gen Alpha. I understood that.
Yeah.
The thing
I understood
least
that.
there was sleeveless plaid shirt. Like, that's the thing I understand least in that sentence.
How would you react if you had a robot walk up to you and compliment your outfit?
I'd walk away. Like I would just like
you wouldn't punch it.
No, just like that could pack a punch. There's in the Giant the grocery store by me. There's something called like Wallybot, and it's just like this giant phallic thing with googly eyes that's just rolling around, and it'll address you, and I'm just like, no. I just walk away from that. I imagine I'd react the same way if it was this robe. I would just be like, I'm not giving you anything to go on. I'm just gonna walk away. Pretend this never happened.
Okay, Joe, it is Tech Rec time. Let's start with you. What do you got for us this week?
Well, we covered some big topics this time, like good groupings. Mine is in the smart home topic bucket, and that is just Miros, Meross, Meross. They make switches and bulbs and things that Wemo apparently used to make but don't anymore. And what I really like about them is A, they're super affordable, and B, they work really well. I have a few of the light bulbs and a switch, and over the weekend before Prime Day and also before Belkin made this announcement, I was so fed up with my Wemo Switch for my office that I bought a new one, and it was Miros, Miros, and I'm really excited to install that, especially now that I know the one that I currently use is not going to work at the end of the year. So if you're looking for affordable smart home stuff, big fan of Miros.
These look pretty good. I've never actually heard of this company before, so I'm going to have to take a look and see what they've got here and maybe dig around and get some of this stuff.
I bought they have like a smart surge protector where like each plug is separately controllable. And I use that around Christmas time to turn on various parts of my Christmas decorations based on time of day.
Love it. Well, this week I have got something for y'all that is not home automation related. I stumbled upon this project kind of out of the blue. I wasn't really looking for it, but it's a product called Harper. It's essentially a open source grammar checker. So it's a Grammarly type thing, but completely private. It uses a built-in local database, so it's not sending any of your writing out to the internet, and it integrates with Firefox, which you know I love, Obsidian, which you know I love, and VS Code, which, if you didn't know it, I love that too. I use all three of those things. So I've actually installed it across all three. I no longer have Grammarly. Actually had some problems with Grammarly with certain websites. We actually have a problem with Grammarly on the Together Letters website. You can't submit updates because of the way that it interacts with the JavaScript on the site. And we actually have no way of fixing it. And we've had actually clients or users complain about it, and we're telling them like, yeah, the only thing you can do is turn off the Grammarly plugin and extension that you've got in your browser, and then it's all fine. But Harper works just fine. I've had no issues with it. I've been using it kind of all across. It is 100% free, and it's open source.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it. The founders have talked a little bit about this and said like, yeah, this is a great project because everything is local. Like when we get on to Product Hunt and there's a big spike in users, it doesn't cost us anymore because you just download it and install it on your own computer and everything is free. Like it's so perfect. So check it out. If you want to go to the website, it's writewithharper.com. Obviously it's not going to do everything that something like Grammarly is going to do, but I think for most people, it'll catch most of the issues that you've got out there.
Yeah, this came across my radar last week or over the weekend. It's made by Automatic, which, you know, I've had some druthers with their leader, but
yeah. I totally did not realize it was an Automatic thing.
Oh yeah, it's an Automatic joint. That
makes it a little bit less fun, but yeah.
That said, I mean, they do, you know, if I was not an Apple user, I'd use Simple Note. I think that's really good. But the Obsidian plugin sold me because I'm moving away from Ulysses for writing and over to Obsidian. I've loved Ulysses for years. But it's one of the few tools where I wish they had more AI features.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to like copy and paste my articles into ChatGPT for proofreading and clarity and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, Obsidian with Harper has been really good.
There you go. Well, Joe, this has been great. Where can our listeners find and connect with you?
You can find me over at casabona.org. I help busy solopreneur parents streamline their business so they spend less time checking email at the playground. And the only social network I'm really active on is LinkedIn. And active is probably generous. I check that like once a week.
And you can find me at sanjaypark.com.